Did you know that a 72-year-old woman named Mary woke up one morning unable to recognize her own husband of 45 years? Her family was devastated. Just the night before, she had been perfectly fine, laughing, sharing stories, and helping with dinner. But overnight, something changed. Her brain seemed to shut down critical memory centers without any warning. The doctors called it accelerated cognitive decline. But what shocked her family most wasn't just the diagnosis, it was how suddenly it happened. "We always thought dementia was a slow process," her daughter told me. But Mom went from sharp to severely confused, literally overnight. What's truly frightening is that Mary had no obvious risk factors, no family history of dementia, normal blood pressure. She exercised regularly and ate well. From the outside, she was doing everything right. But what the doctors discovered later was chilling. The problem wasn't what Mary was doing during the day, it was what was happening in her bedroom every night for years. 3 specific nighttime habits had been silently damaging her brain night after night without anyone realizing it. And here's what's truly concerning. According to Harvard Medical School research, 83% of adults over 60 have at least one of these harmful bedroom habits. Most people have no idea they're essentially programming their brains for rapid decline every single night. Take John and Bill, for example. Both 78 years old, both retired teachers, both with similar backgrounds. Today, John still teaches part-time at a community college, travels internationally, and has a memory that impresses people half his age. Bill, however, struggles to remember his grandchildren's names and needs constant supervision. The difference? 3 specific bedroom habits that John follows religiously, habits that Bill never knew about. But it doesn't have to be this way. That's the good news. The same Harvard study that identified these harmful patterns also discovered something remarkable. People who adopted 3 specific bedroom habits maintained the cognitive function of someone 15 to 20 years younger. And unlike expensive medications or treatments, these changes cost virtually nothing and can be implemented tonight. What's most surprising is that neurologists and sleep specialists rarely mention these habits to their patients. Why? Because most medical training focuses on treating problems after they develop, not preventing them in the first place. And the pharmaceutical industry certainly isn't interested in solutions that don't involve their products. In this video, I'm going to share these 3 critical bedroom habits, revealed by Harvard's longitudinal brain study. The same habits that helped participants maintain sharp memory, quick thinking, and excellent problem-solving skills well into their 90s. By the end of our time together, you'll know exactly what to implement tonight to protect your brain cells and keep your mind razor-sharp for decades to come. Now, before we dive into the first habit, let me be clear. What I'm about to share isn't just another collection of generic health tips. These are specific, science-backed practices with dramatic results. Some participants in the study saw measurable improvements in memory tests after just 14 days of implementing these habits. And after 60 days, brain scans showed actual physical changes in the hippocampus, the memory center of the brain, with increased volume and activity. But I should warn you, the third habit might surprise you the most. It goes against what most sleep experts have been recommending for years, yet the evidence supporting it is now impossible to ignore. Stay with me until the end because I'll also share a simple 30-second bedtime ritual that combines all 3 habits and maximizes their brain protective effects. This ritual alone could be the difference between maintaining your independence or becoming dependent on others as you age. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video on the morning habits that complement these nighttime practices. Let's start with the first bedroom habit that's essential for keeping your brain sharp until. The first critical bedroom habit that can keep your brain sharp until 95 eyes, maintaining your bedroom at the perfect temperature for brain regeneration. Most people don't realize that the temperature of your bedroom directly impacts how your brain cleans and repairs itself at night. When Harvard researchers studied the brain activity of participants during sleep, they made a shocking discovery. In rooms warmer than 70 degrees Fahrenheit, the brain's cleaning system, called the glymphatic system, worked 40% less efficiently. This is serious because your brain's glymphatic system is like its exclusive cleaning crew. When it's working properly, it flushes out toxic proteins like beta amyloid and tau, the same proteins that build up in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. But when your bedroom is too warm, this cleaning system slows down dramatically, allowing these dangerous toxins to accumulate night after night. Most seniors keep their bedrooms far too warm without realizing they're literally creating the perfect environment for brain deterioration. The average bedroom temperature for adults over 65 is 74 degrees Fahrenheit, exactly the temperature where brain cleaning processes begin to shut down. Take Margaret, an 88-year-old former teacher who participated in the Harvard study. She was starting to forget names and lose her train of thought during conversations. Her doctors suggested medication, but when researchers examined her sleep environment, they discovered her bedroom was kept at a toasty 76 degrees Fahrenheit every night. Within just 3 weeks of lowering her bedroom temperature to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, Margaret showed a 32% improvement on standardized memory tests. 6 months later, brain scans revealed her hippocampus, the memory center of the brain, had actually increased in volume, something doctors had previously thought impossible at her age. So what's the ideal temperature for brain health? The Harvard study found that keeping your bedroom between 60 to 67 F minus 19 degrees Celsius optimizes the brain's cleaning processes. At this temperature range, glymphatic system efficiency increased by 78% compared to warmer environments. I know what you're thinking, but I'll be too cold. That's a common concern, but there's a simple solution. Instead of raising the room temperature, add an extra blanket or wear warm socks. Your brain needs cool ambient air to function optimally, even while your body stays warm under covers. One simple trick that many study participants used: set your thermostat to automatically lower the temperature about 1 hour before bedtime. This not only creates the perfect environment for brain cleaning, but also triggers your body's natural sleep mechanisms, as a slight drop in core temperature signals your brain that it's time to sleep. One shocking fact most people don't know: sleeping in a room that's just 3 degrees too warm can age your brain by approximately 3.4 years over time. That means simply adjusting your thermostat could be more effective than many expensive cognitive supplements on the market. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on notifications. The second habit that the Harvard study found crucial for maintaining a sharp mind into your 90s is engaging in the right kind of mental stimulation 30 minutes before sleep. This might sound counterintuitive. Most sleep experts tell you to wind down and avoid stimulation before bed. And they're partly right, but they're missing a critical distinction that the Harvard researchers discovered. Here's what they found. The 30-minute window before sleep is actually a prime opportunity for strengthening neural pathways and promoting neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells, even in your 80s and 90s. But the key is engaging in the right kind of mental activity. The wrong pre-sleep activities, like watching TV, scrolling through social media, or reading news, activate your brain's stress centers and bombard it with blue light, disrupting the production of melatonin and reducing deep sleep by up to 47%. That's precisely when your brain would normally be consolidating memories and clearing toxins. What shocked researchers was discovering that participants who engaged in specific types of mental activities before bed showed a 43% increase in deep sleep quality and maintained cognitive abilities comparable to people 15 to 20 years younger. So what exactly should you do during this 30-minute window? The Harvard study identified 3 specific activities that dramatically improved brain health. First, reading from a physical book, not an e-reader or tablet, for 15 to 20 minutes. The content matters too. Fiction that engages your imagination creates more neural connections than non-fiction. Participants who read fiction before bed showed a 65% better retention of new information compared to non-readers. Second, strategic problem solving, like crossword puzzles, Sudoku, or chess problems. These activities activate your frontal lobe, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and reasoning, strengthening connections that typically weaken with age. Third, and perhaps most surprisingly, writing by hand. Participants who spent just 5 minutes writing in a journal before bed about anything at all showed increased activity in memory centers of the brain and reported 28% better recall of daily events. The physical act of handwriting engages motor areas of the brain that typing simply doesn't activate. The most dangerous mistake most people make is passive consumption before bed. Watching television might feel relaxing, but it actually puts your brain in a passive state right when it needs active engagement to build protective neural reserves. Consider Richard's case from the Harvard study. At 92 years old, he still worked part-time as a consultant and could recall details from meetings with remarkable precision. Brain scans showed his hippocampus was comparable to that of a healthy 60-year-old. His secret? For over 40 years, he spent 20 minutes every night reading challenging books before sleep. Not light reading, but material that made him think and engage deeply. When researchers asked why he developed this habit, his answer was simple. My father had dementia in his 70s. I was determined not to follow the same path. The simplest way to implement this habit tonight is what I call the May 15, 2010 method. 15 minutes of reading a physical book, 5 minutes of a puzzle or brain game, and 10 minutes of handwriting in a journal. This combination activates multiple brain regions just before sleep, priming your brain for enhanced restoration during the night. One fascinating discovery from the study: participants who implemented this pre-sleep routine showed measurable improvements in memory tests after just 9 days, long before any other interventions like diet or exercise showed results. If you're still with me and finding value in these insights, please comment 3 below to let me know you're here. Now for the third, and perhaps most surprising bedroom habit that keeps your brain sharp until 95. Sleeping in the optimal position for brain health. This might sound too simple to make a difference, but the Harvard study revealed something remarkable. Your sleep position directly affects cerebral circulation and waste clearance in the brain. Yet, most people never consider how the way they lie down impacts their cognitive future. What the researchers discovered was truly eye-opening. Participants who slept in specific positions had up to 72% more efficient nighttime brain cleaning than those who slept in suboptimal positions. This difference accumulated over time, creating either protection against cognitive decline or accelerating it. Here's why sleep position matters so much. Your brain has a specialized waste removal system called the glymphatic system, which works primarily during deep sleep. This system clears out toxic proteins and waste products that accumulate during the day. The efficiency of this system depends heavily on the position of your head and body during sleep. The study identified the ideal sleep position for brain health, lying on your left side with your head slightly elevated about 10 to 15 degrees. This position optimizes blood flow to the brain through the jugular vein and carotid artery, enhancing the removal of toxic proteins like beta amyloid and tau, the same proteins found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. Participants who regularly slept in this position showed a remarkable 33% reduction in cognitive decline over the 15-year study period compared to those who slept in other positions. What surprised researchers most was discovering that the worst position for brain health is one that many people actually prefer: sleeping flat on your back. When you lie flat on your back, the weight of your brain itself can compress important blood vessels, reducing cerebral blood flow by up to 30%. Over time, this restriction in blood flow compromises the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to brain cells and impairs the removal of waste products. Let me share a powerful example from the study. David, a 90-year-old participant, maintained exceptional memory and cognitive function throughout the study. Brain scans showed minimal age-related degeneration in his frontal lobe and hippocampus. The researchers were initially puzzled because David didn't have any genetic advantages or special diet. What set him apart was that for over 40 years he had slept exclusively on his left side with a slightly elevated pillow, a habit he developed after reading about its benefits for digestion. The researchers tested this by monitoring participants' brain activity during sleep in different positions. The results were clear. Left side sleeping with slight elevation increased glymphatic clearance by 68% compared to back sleeping. Now, I understand this might be difficult to implement if you've spent decades sleeping in a different position. Fortunately, The researchers also identified a simple solution: use strategic pillow placement to guide your body. For those who aren't used to side sleeping, try this tonight. Place a firm pillow behind your back to prevent rolling onto your back during sleep. Place another pillow between your knees to reduce pressure on your hips and spine. And most importantly, use a cervical pillow that provides proper neck support and keeps your head slightly elevated. A surprising tip from the study: participants who placed a tennis ball in a sock and pinned it to the back of their pajamas reported that it helped them avoid rolling onto their back during sleep. It sounds unusual, but it was remarkably effective at training the body to maintain the optimal side position throughout the night. What's particularly exciting about this habit is how quickly it can produce results. Participants who changed their sleep position showed improved cognitive test scores after just 14 nights, with measures of attention and working memory improving first. One more critical insight from the research: while left side sleeping is ideal, right side sleeping is still significantly better than back sleeping. So, if you find it difficult to sleep on your left side due to heart issues or other conditions, the right side is a perfectly acceptable alternative. The most common mistake people make is assuming that comfort is the only factor that matters when choosing a sleep position. But what feels most comfortable initially might not be what's best for your brain in the long term. The good news is that your body typically adapts to a new sleep position within 1 to 2 weeks, after which it begins to feel natural. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let me address some common questions about implementing these habits. Many people ask, do I need to follow all 3 habits to see benefits? The Harvard study found that each habit independently reduced cognitive decline risk, but the combination of all 3 had a synergistic effect, reducing decline by a remarkable 78%, greater than any single intervention studied. Another question: how long before I notice a difference? Most participants reported subjective improvements in mental clarity and recall within 2 to 3 weeks. Objective cognitive testing showed measurable improvements after 14 to 21 days. And brain imaging showed physical changes in neural pathways after approximately 60 days of consistent practice. The beauty of these habits is their simplicity. Unlike expensive supplements or complex exercise regimens, these changes can be implemented tonight with little to no cost. Yet their impact on your cognitive future could be profound, potentially adding years of independence and mental clarity to your life. Let me share the remarkable transformation of Elizabeth, a 76-year-old retired librarian whose story powerfully demonstrates the impact of these 3 bedroom habits combined. When Elizabeth first joined the Harvard study, her cognitive assessment scores placed her in the 43rd percentile for her age group. She was experiencing what many consider normal aging, forgetting names, misplacing items, and struggling to learn new information. Her family had started noticing these changes, and Elizabeth herself admitted feeling frustrated and fearful about her future. Her bedroom routine was typical of many seniors. She kept her room at 73°F because she hated being cold, watched TV news until falling asleep, and had always been a back sleeper because it felt most comfortable. Her doctors had never mentioned these habits might be affecting her brain health. As part of the study, Elizabeth agreed to implement all 3 bedroom habits simultaneously. She lowered her bedroom temperature to 65°F, compensating with a warmer comforter, replaced TV with 20 minutes of reading and 5 minutes of journaling, and trained herself to sleep on her left side with a slightly elevated pillow. The first week was challenging. I was convinced I wouldn't be able to fall asleep without my TV, she told researchers, and sleeping on my side felt strange after decades on my back. But by the second week, something remarkable started happening. Elizabeth reported waking up feeling more refreshed than she had in years. By the end of the first month, her family noticed she was more engaged in conversations, remembering details without effort, and even learning the names of new people she met. After 3 months, Elizabeth's cognitive assessment was repeated. The researchers were astonished. Her scores had jumped from the 43rd percentile to the 79th percentile for her age group. Her processing speed, verbal fluency, and memory recall showed improvements that typically aren't possible without medication. Most striking was her own testimony. For years, I felt like I was watching my mind slowly slip away. I had resigned myself to cognitive decline as an inevitable part of aging. Now I feel sharp again, present again. I can remember my grandchildren's school events without writing them down. I can finish the daily crossword puzzle again. I feel like I've reclaimed my mind. Brain scans confirmed what the cognitive tests suggested. Elizabeth's hippocampus showed increased volume. Her neural pathways displayed enhanced connectivity, and the toxic protein buildup that had begun forming in her frontal lobe had decreased by 32%. What makes Elizabeth's case particularly significant is that she made no other lifestyle changes during this period. No new diet, no new exercise routine, no supplements. The dramatic improvement in her cognitive function could be attributed to just those 3 bedroom habits. 5 years later, Elizabeth remains in the study. At 81, her cognitive scores now exceed those of many 65-year-olds. She's written 2 children's books since implementing these changes, something she says she never would have had the mental clarity to accomplish before. The lead researcher commented on Elizabeth's case, "What's remarkable isn't just the improvement, but the prevention of further decline." Based on her initial trajectory, Elizabeth would likely have experienced significant cognitive impairment by now. Instead, she's functioning at a level we rarely see in individuals her age. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment 5 below to let me know you're here. Let's recap what we've learned about keeping your brain sharp until 95. First, keep your bedroom temperature between -67°F to optimize your brain's cleaning system, even if it means using extra blankets to stay comfortable. Second, replace passive screen time with 20 minutes of active mental engagement before sleep, reading a physical book, solving puzzles, or writing by hand. Third, train yourself to sleep on your left side with your head slightly elevated to maximize cerebral blood flow and waste removal from your brain. These 3 habits might seem simple, almost too simple to have such a profound impact on your cognitive future. But that's precisely what makes the Harvard study's findings so revolutionary. These small, cost-free changes to your bedroom routine could potentially add years of mental clarity and independence to your life. Think about it this way. Most people spend thousands of dollars on supplements, special diets, and exercise equipment, hoping to prevent cognitive decline. Yet they completely overlook these fundamental bedroom habits that have been scientifically proven to protect brain function. The consequences of ignoring this information can be severe. Every night you sleep in a room that's too warm. Every night you fall asleep to TV. Every night you sleep in a position that restricts cerebral blood flow, you're potentially accelerating your brain's aging process. The Harvard researchers estimated that suboptimal bedroom habits can age your brain by up to 3.2 years every decade. But there's tremendous hope in this knowledge too. Unlike your genetics or your past, these habits are completely within your control. You can implement them tonight. I encourage you to start with just 1 habit if all 3 feel overwhelming. Based on the research, optimizing your bedroom temperature provides the quickest noticeable benefits, so consider starting there. Then gradually add the other 2 habits over the next week. I've created a special brain protective bedroom checklist that you can download from the link in the description. This printable guide gives you a daily tracking system for implementing these habits and includes additional tips not covered in this video. I'd love to hear which of these 3 habits you'll be implementing first. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement to continue creating evidence-based content that can truly change lives. If you found this information valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone you care about who wants to keep their mind sharp as they age. Your support helps us continue our mission of bringing life-changing health information to people who need it most. In our next video, I'll reveal the 4 morning habits that work synergistically with these bedroom routines to further enhance your brain function. You won't want to miss it. Remember, it's never too late to start protecting your brain. The best time to begin these habits was 20 years ago. The second best time is tonight. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.